So first up, we're going to go to Age of the Nerd with Kristen. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to speak with us today.
Thank you.
So, I'm really enjoying the series so far. So, I'm curious, as actors for both of you, what it has been like to peel back some of the layers of these characters because it seems like there's a lot going on and, a lot under the surface as well. Is there anything that you were surprised to learn about yourself as actors as you continue to explore the storylines?
Wow. Anything that we continue? Yeah. I mean, wow, that's a fantastic question, first of all. Um, I think just con being understanding, I guess, what is being asked of you as an actor. What I think a lot of my experiences I had were very lovely and luxurious, but there was at the end of the day, it was on a studio lot, or it was, you could sit in a comfortable chair, and not that we didn't have comfortable chairs on the set, but we were on location all the time. And when we were on a break, on a turnaround in a scene, oftentimes we'd be in a working police precinct, or we'd be on in an alleyway. And so
Yeah.
there really wasn't a moment when you were taking yourself out. You were just totally immersed. And I think that it was a really wonderful gift as an actor to be so immersed in the world of Long Beach.
Yeah, and to Troian's point, like, we don't live in Long Beach. We don't reside in Long Beach. So to have that hour and a half, sometimes
Mm,
maybe 2 hour commute to Long Beach, it kind of allowed you to just like leave your real world behind, and like you were forced to just fall into the reality of the environment that the production design team and everybody else created for us.
absolutely.
Great, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you, Kristen. Up next is Jamie with Sci-Fi Vision.
Hi, guys. Thanks so much for talking to us.
Hi.
So the relationship between Harmon and Diaz is such an important part of the show. Can you talk about sort of developing that friendship, that camaraderie between the two of you?
Go ahead.
Sure. I mean, I always go back to this, but I think it begins with the writing. I mean, I feel like Tim and Elliot and the rest of the writers did an incredible job at creating these characters that come from all different walks of life. People from Bishop to Lastman to Diaz to Harmon. They all have a different way of viewing the world and a different way of policing. And to see all of those people in the same environment having to interact and to having to work towards a common goal, I feel like that's what was most interesting to me, especially like now that I'm able to see the show and witness it as a spectator. I feel like that was one of the most fascinating things that I was able to witness as a viewer.
Hmm. Absolutely. Like you said, the entirety of the show really is about this relationship, and as a small microcosm of something much larger.
Mm.
And I think what's really incredible about the opportunity that we give our audience is you really get to come in to the patrol car with us. You get to spend all of this time with us, going from call to call to call, really not getting any breaks. You never see us at home. It's not about our personal lives, it's about our lives out in the community doing this job. So getting to go to work each day with an incredible scene partner, I think the relationship really had an organic build to it. The more Harmon and Diaz got to know each other and trust each other, so too did, myself and Brandon.
Mm.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie. Up next is Joe with Cherry the Geek TV.
Hi, Brandon. Hi, Troy. Thanks for chatting with us
Hi,
today.
Joe.
Hi.
I'm curious what kind of preparation you did in preparing for your roles in terms of talking and interviewing fellow real-life police officers, or doing ride-alongs with real-life police officers. And if so, if that was part of the preparation, what was the one thing that they told you that helped influence the way that you played your characters? And was there any, and if you did ride-alongs, was there any particular thing that you came across during the ride-alongs that helped, that impacted you and stuck with you?
Yeah. We were very lucky. We got to go on some ride-alongs. We got to work with Long Beach Police. to speak to actual officers, to speak to veteran officers, to speak to rookies.
Mhm.
And it was a really wonderful opportunity to really get to sit down with the people who have chosen to go into law enforcement and ask them what their experiences are. And for me, I think the thing that I was so what was so revelatory was that getting to go on these ride-alongs, I didn't get to just see what it was like for the police officer that I was sitting next to, but I got to see their relationship with the members of the Long Beach community. That was really revelatory, that they often knew people by first name. You know, they had standing relationships, that when they were meeting somebody new, you know, there were many, many different ways that they were treated or, you know, that they would respond to. And so it was really a wonderful experience to be able to be taken into the fold and get to see what that, you know, what that relationship is like between a police officer and the community that they serve.
Thank you. Up next is John with Nerds That Geek.
First off, thank you both so much for your time today. Really do appreciate it. Love your work on the show. You guys are doing some amazing stuff when it comes to this series. I'm also very curious. It's very ambitious, and it's very much not of the norm for crime series. And I'm curious what it means to you as actors to be a part of a show that is so ambitious.
I mean, it's kind of, at least for me, it's what I've always dreamed of being a part of, a show that allows you, you know, just allows you to expand what you thought you were capable of. I mean, I remember reading the script, and every single day, it's like at first, fear. It was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I can't do this. And then you read it again, and you go, okay, maybe I can pull this off. And then, of course, you know, there's still that fear stepping into set. But then when you're surrounded around people who are there to uplift you and just want you to succeed, I think that's what made it easy for me. But I think as an actor, like, you always are looking for that next thing that will help grow you as a person, and as an actor, you know, that'll expand your skill set. So what was yours, Troy?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I think that that's a really wonderful way to describe it. Reading the scripts, it was always fear first. And okay, I'm gonna do this. So how's it gonna happen? And it was just really wonderful to be working with this incredible team of writers and directors and actors and you know, everybody behind the scenes. We had the most incredible prop department and really wonderful people that were making sure that we were, you know, approaching a call in the right way, checking out that we were holding our weapon in the right way or harnessing it in the right way, you know, that we were responding on the radio in an authentic way.
Yep.
And so for us, and for me, I'll speak for myself, like, it was just so exciting to be put in this position to be able to portray something so authentically, that all we had to do was do our best to get to the truth of it. You know, what does it really sound like when you're putting something out on the radio? Because when it's, if I were in that position, I would be screaming and I would be terrified and you wouldn't get a word of it. And it was really wonderful to have a tech on set with us. And he was like, if you're that, you know, scared and you project that on the radio, they're not going to be able to locate where you are. You need to be clear. You need to be calm. And so to have that kind of authenticity was just really incredible. And I agree with you. It's a very ambitious show, but I think first and foremost, our goal was be authentic, and that allowed us to reach for something bigger.
Wonderful. Thank you both so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next is Raju with Sports Kita.
Hey, so I love the show as well. My question is, how much are you both like the characters that you play? Are there, you know, elements of Harmon and Diaz that resonate with each one of you?
Yeah.
I kind of want to like answer this one for Harmon. Like how I see similarities between Harmon and Troian is they're both extremely hardworking. You know, they've earned their way to where they are right now. You know, a lot of the times, you know, it's as an actor, you look for similarities, but it's always interesting, like as the actor playing opposite the person, to say, oh, okay, I know Troian as a person, and I see elements of her that she's bringing to this character while also building elements that might be unfamiliar to her. So it was really fascinating for me to watch her build this character each and every day and add little nuances that, like, I noticed, you know, acting opposite side her.
Thank you. It was, I mean, you know, really, it was the same kind of watching you building Diaz. You know, God, there's just this, he has an unbridled enthusiasm, and that mirrors your passion for which you approach things. I mean, Brandon is never, you'll never catch him. I would catch him sometimes sitting down and closing his eyes because it was absolutely necessary. And it was one of those amazing moments where I was like, wow, I'm so glad that he's taking that moment, because I know he's putting every ounce of energy into this scene, into this moment, into portraying Diaz as, beautifully as possible, so complicated and so many layers, and it takes a lot out of you. And I think that your energy and his energy and the passion that you both have, I think is really, I don't know, it's inherent to both of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Sports
Up
Peter.
next is Shayna with Fangirlish.
Hello. So looking at the relationship dynamic and how it builds from the day one of these two together to what happens in the last episode, where do you think the turning point is for them from their starting off kind of on, they don't know each other, and how much of the trust that's been built do you think possibly gets fractured or affected with that final decision in the final episode?
Mm.
There was a moment in the trailer that Diaz tells her, like, I'm 100% with you. And I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't watched the show, but I feel like, at least for me and my character, that was the moment where everything came into question and he had to make a definitive answer, because it was a matter of, in that moment, life and death. And I feel like for him, for my character, that was the moment where he decided, I have to trust this person fully. I might not want to, but I have to, because it's a matter of life and death.
Yeah, and I, without giving too much away, it was really wonderful to get to watch over the course of the 8 episodes that there's a moment in which Harmon really needs Diaz. She really needs him, and she really wants to consider herself sort of above, not above his help, but that she doesn't need to ask for his help in a way. And I think what's so incredible about Diaz and the way Brandon imbued that moment was that there was so much strife in their relationship, and still he holds out his hand to her in this way that is like, I don't expect anything back. I can just help you. And it's a really beautiful moment for their characters. And I think it's really beautiful the way it carries them into the end, because you start to understand, at least for me, when you see the ending, why the betrayal, which I totally agree, feels like a betrayal. It feels like a betrayal to her. It feels like a betrayal to him. But at the same time, you understand that there is love and care in it. Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
All right, up next is Manny with that hashtag show.
Congratulations on the series. I have to say, as someone who works in